Magnolia baby boomers, it happened at the Midcentury. Grab a giant popcorn. This week's Then premieres a triple feature. The photo comes from a project that enlisted 60 writers to document baby boomers' youthful years in the Magnolia neighborhood. Just released Magnolia Midcentury Memories is the third coffee table book assembled this century by volunteers and represented by the Magnolia Historical Society. With 448 pages and 450 plus photos, the volume dives into everything from military family life at Fort Lawton, now Discovery Park, to peninsula-wide immigrant routes and racist redlining, from mudslides along the Perkins Lane cliffs to the demise of the Interbay garbage dump. In our Then, the marquee points to the photo's date, mid-June 1963, and our first feature, the Seattle World's Fair. The book notes that Fort Lawton was considered for the 1962 exposition site, and that from the Magnolia Bridge, locals could see the eventual fairgrounds take shape. Among memories of the fair from then upper grade students, most who attended Queen Anne High School, which peered over what is now Seattle Center, is that of Cheryl Peterson Bauer. In the book, she tells of securing 2 autographs, for her and her sister, from Elvis Presley, who was at the fair to star in the marquee movie. But the crooner signed both sides of the paper dead in the middle, making it impossible to share. Parked near the marquee is our second feature, a mid-century house mid-move. This symbolizes a time 14 years prior when Magnolians vigorously debated whether 20 homes to the north should be condemned to make way for a combined junior high school and field house. What the Seattle Times labeled Seattle's most explosive community controversy in many years ended with the go-ahead. Some houses made dramatic treks in 1950-1951 to vacant lots nearby. It was quite a sight for a 5-year-old to see her house being driven down the street, Karen Barter Fielding says in the book. It was such a big event for the family, I still talk about it. Our third feature is the Magnolia Theater itself. Opening November 25, 1948, with Cary Grant in Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House, it was the largest commercial building in the shopping district, dubbed the Village. Seating 985 people, it became a true community center. Michael Musselwhite, who worked there in 1959 to 1963 as a teen, writes that a tavern was barred from buying on-screen advertising because children were usually in attendance, and that changing the marquee each Monday evening took 2 students, a tall ladder, and 2.5 hours. A Magnolia blockbuster, the book uses only the right half of our Then, so consider this photo the widescreen version. In our Then photo, a house sits mid-move on 34th Avenue West, just north of the Magnolia Theater, between June 11th and June 17th, 1963, when it happened at the World's Fair and the Connie Francis vehicle Follow the Boys played the second-run house. The theater hit a peak in 1969 as the only place in Seattle to see Oliver in first run, but it closed in 1974 and was razed in 1977. Today, socially distanced and most with masks down, from left, Jeff Graham, Tab Melton, Brian Hogan, Gene Willard, Dan Curley, Kathy Cunningham, Sherry Quinton, Mike Musselwhite, and editor Monica Wooten from the nearly 70-member team that produced Magnolia Midcentury Memories look southwest in front of Chase Bank, whose previous incarnation, Washington Mutual Savings Bank, opened a branch on the Magnolia Theater site in 1978. For info on the book's launch, visit magnoliahistoricalsociety.org.